gosh. Good morning. I am Sarah Palmer, the Permission to Choose speaker and coach, and I am here this morning to share a life tip. Now, one life tip, Sarah? Really? That's all we're getting today? Well, it's early. It's a Saturday morning. It is, hold on, let me check the time here. Oh, 11:27 a.m. Now, for people in the real world, back in February or the beginning of March, 11:27 is roughly half of your day already gone. Now, I will tell you that for me, 11:27 is normally the time I've been waking up lately. Yep. There was a study that some scientists did relatively recently. It was a meta study, which means they took a whole bunch of other studies and put them together and studied kind of overall. Here's what they noticed in the meta study. They found that people who had brain scans, like CAT scans and whatnot, that were relatively neurotypical, those brains found they enjoyed, the people attached to those brains found that they liked going to bed around 11 p.m. and waking up at 7 a.m. Yay. So those people had kind of what they call a circadian rhythm, which is the whole how American society is built around people going to bed around 11 or so and then waking up around 7 or so, getting ready to work at 9, which is why they made 9 the time that you start working. But, but they also found that in these studies that people whose brain scans were indicative of ADD or ADHD, that those people preferred to go to bed around 2 a.m. and wake up at 10 a.m. Those are my people. Like, I know there are some people here who are listening right now who are absolutely disgusted at the idea of having to stay up until 2 a.m. Oh my God. And then you wake up at 10 a.m., half the day is gone. Why would anybody even want to do that, right? Me. Okay. I have not been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD. I don't think that I fit those profiles, but let's say that people with neurotypical brains like going to bed at 10 and waking up at 7, and people whose brains are indicative of ADD or ADHD, or maybe some other things like I have depression and generalized anxiety. Maybe those brains would fit there too. We love going to bed late and waking up late. Now, here's why. Those studies found that the people who had ADD and ADHD loved going to bed later because when the sun went down, like half of their distractions disappeared. Because when it's dark out, first of all, you physically cannot see as much stuff outside of your windows. So that's calming. It kind of eliminates those distractions from being able to focus. But they also found that the social atmosphere got quieter. There's less likely, you're not there, you're less likely to go to a dentist appointment, say at 10 o'clock at night. You're not likely to go to a doctor's appointment at 11 at night. You're not likely to hit the grocery store. For most people that work a 9 to 5 job, you're not planning on hitting the grocery store around midnight. So, by eliminating all of those distractions for real life, people like myself who love staying up late, the habitual night owl, we can get all sorts of stuff done when the sun goes down. Our brains wake up and they can focus more on the stuff that we really want to focus on and less on all of the distractions that happen every day. So going to bed at 2 and waking up at 10 has been divine. And I've seen a lot of memes and people saying, yeah, whenever we have to actually go back to some type of schedule that looks like it did before, I'm going to need like a week or two to kind of get back into things. It's like when the start of school happens and it's the beginning of August and you're like, okay, I'm going to need some time to get ready to go back to sleep at a normal time and, put on pants. So this is like how we're going to get back into real life whenever that happens for people who have been mostly stuck at home. Now, those of you who are my essential workers, love you. And you haven't had a choice. You would have loved to have gone to bed at 2 a.m. and woken up at 10 a.m., but you're still stuck in some form of shift work and you have to be there whenever the store opens or you have to be there whenever the store closes. And you don't have the option to kind of let your rhythm go to where you want it to be. So let me be your, surrogate for that. So you're welcome. I'm staying up late and getting up late for you. You're welcome. So my tip for today has everything to do with sleep. And it really does help whether you are able to go to bed and wake up whenever you want right now. It helps whether you go to bed and wake up whenever you have to right now, whether that's because you have a job outside of your house that requires that follow a particular schedule, or because the fantastic people in your home have a different schedule than you, and you are thus required to follow it so that they do not set the house on fire. I get that too. So if you are a parent who would love to be able to sleep way, way, way in and you can't, this tip could also help you out as well. Here's the tip. Everybody talks about meditation. Everybody. Like, it doesn't matter how old or young, it doesn't matter what gender, it doesn't matter what race, it doesn't matter what religion. Everybody talks about you need to get quiet, you need to be calm, you need to pray. Some people say you need to, be still and kind of connect with humanity if you're atheist, or a particular God if you are a religion. And you should do that to kind of calm your head and get into a more centered space, because these days the center is somewhere, I don't know where, but it's not where it used to be. So how do I recenter, right? Everybody talks about meditation. Now, I love meditation, but I will also tell you that I really struggle with scheduling meditation in. Even 2 minutes a day, never mind 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day, it's almost impossible for me to get that in at all, like ever, except I use a free app because I am very much all about sharing things that do not cost money or do not cost very much money, because we are all not able to enjoy what I lovingly call white women yoga solutions. We all do not have the finances for $100 yoga pants and 1 week all expenses paid trip to the Bahamas to go do yoga, or to hand things off to our full staff to take care of, like changing our eating habits or shopping or whatever. Most of us are just doing the thing every day. So this is a tip to help people who are not swimming in a Scrooge McDuck vault of cash. Insight Timer is a meditation app that I've had on my phone. I've had a couple phones, usually purchased at a discount. I do my research. I'm not a brand new phone person. But every time, get the phone up, get it loaded, I do upload Insight Timer. It's a free meditation app. They have so many music. They have a whole lot of guided meditations where people are walking you through a thing. They have kids' meditations. My kid has been listening to meditation to go to bed every night for like ages, years, I think, at this point, because we hooked it up to an old iPad that we had, and we play that. And even if she wakes up in the middle of the night, she'll put on a meditation to be able to drift back off to sleep, which is fantastic. So that's kind of my tip, is that I have the Insight Timer app on my phone, and it keeps track for every day that you meditate. It'll keep like a little streak, and it'll be like, yay, you hit 5 days, or yay, you hit 10 days. Your next goal is blah, blah days. I am at, I think, 590 something days in a row, like haven't missed for that many days. And you're like, okay, Sarah, how is that possible? You just said you can barely fit in meditation during the day. You really struggle with scheduling that. I do it at night, like when I'm going to sleep, because I always go to sleep at some point during the day, even if it was for like an hour, if I had like a newborn, or even if I only got 3 hours of sleep, I still have to go to sleep at some point. So I've trained myself to go onto my Insight Timer app. I've gone onto my Insight Timer app and I have put in a meditation that I wanted to listen to. I like the ones that are in the background, like the super quiet meditations. So, Insight Timer app, pick some like subliminal meditation that lasts however long it lasts, and then I put it down next to my bed where I plug it in, not by some fabric because I'm not going to burn the house down. And I just go to sleep. But I'm meditating. So after a while, the ones that I did on Insight Timer, I liked, but they weren't long enough. Like, I want to just get some good stuff going on there. So, what I did was I went to YouTube, also on my phone, and I looked up different meditations that were subliminal, like the ones that sound like rain, but there's somebody in the background telling you that you are going to be the best possible you today, or that your body is kick ass and you should really be loving it more. And I still go to the Insight Timer app to log the session. So, like, you can add in, oh, how long did you meditate today? Or how long are you going to meditate? I have meditated for, whatever, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. And then I close my Insight Timer app and I go to my YouTube. And my favorite channel is Insights from the Soul. And I've used their meditations for 590 something days at this point, and they are fantastic. So I listened to one that says, learn to love your body, or grow up with, or wake up with lots of energy, or you have motivation. And it tells you all the things that it reads in the background. So, I mean, maybe I could be programmed to, like only love Hellman's mayonnaise. Hey, Suzanne, how are you doing? I'm talking about meditation at night and how to meditate when you don't have time or you can't remember to meditate during the day. So I use the Insight Timer app on my phone, and I either can listen to a meditation there while I'm falling asleep, or my hack is that I log the session on there because it likes to keep track of how long I've been meditating in a row, like how many days. And then I go to YouTube and I look up Insights from the Soul, and I pick a meditation that's like an 8 to 10 hour subliminal back of the mind meditation that's like, you are an amazing person, or you can get a lot of things done, or wake up with energy. And I just put that on, plugged into my phone so my phone doesn't die from low batteries, and then I just go to sleep. And I will tell you what, maybe it's only me, but I have found that listening to that white noise with some subliminal stuff in the background has been a huge help. I'm a big competition person, and I like that on the Insight Timer app, it helps me to keep track of how many days in a row I've done it, and it gives me like a little star every so often. I'm at like 590 something days. I'm like this close to 600 days in a row that I've meditated. I couldn't find time to do it during the day. I always messed up trying to schedule it, but I can meditate while I'm falling asleep, because I will meditate every night when I fall asleep, because I always fall asleep every night. I have to. So at this point, I just log that session on my Insight Timer, and then I pop over to YouTube and pick the one that I want to listen to, and I shrink down the size of the YouTube thing on my phone, and then I make it like the darkest phone setting, and I put a paper over it so that it's dark and not shiny in my face during the nighttime. 590